What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. My name is Splattercat, and we are here today with the first episode of Crowntakers that I'm going to be recording for the afternoon, I guess. This is like episode number 8, possibly. I don't know. I have like tabulations going in my head, but we have so many series going right now that frankly I'm having trouble keeping track of it all. I think we are staying on top of it, but this is going to be the 8th episode of Crowntakers. I think today we're going to do a little bit of a bum run, and what I mean by that is in a bum run. So for old JRPGs and things like that, I call it a bum run because it means you put all your terrible characters in your party and you just go on a run with them and see how far they get, just to level them up and make them a little bit more proficient by comparison to some of your A-team members. I know that we did that about 4 episodes ago, maybe 3 episodes ago, but I do think it's a good call because Valana actually seems to be a fairly good character. Adjust my music slightly in my headphones. It won't affect your viewing at all, but I'm deafening myself right now. Anyway, every time I jump out of bed and I start like a new day of like working on recordings, I always deafen myself in the first one, and I don't know what it is. You think I learned the lesson. So Darian's at level 8. What are we at? Level 9? We've got to be getting close to where we're actually competitive for the final boss. I think it just comes down to every single time. I feel like it comes down to consumables. I mean, I completed both Barca and the Dark Knight purely through consumables. Like there was no skill involved. I just consumabled my way through it. So I think that people had mentioned that Zoe was considerably powerful, and I should probably take them up on checking that out. So my next party will probably be Halfaris, Melik, Zoe, Valana, and I would love to unlock the Wizard. I'm thinking that he might be a good call too. Shoot 3 arrows on target, so yeah, multi-shot be nice for running off some armor. She's not even close, is she? She's only killed 2 people, oh god. So it's gonna be a while before we sort that out. Has she hit her rank 2? Nope, she's only killed 18, so yeah. I can virtually assure you what we need to do right now is a bum run, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's get started. No point sitting around on our laurels, no matter how large or amazing they might be. Let's continue to walk forward, because this squishy seat is just not doing it for me right now. Continue. So we are in the lands of the Duke of Isire. And I thought the game was going to crash on me there for a second. That was really odd. So then, I think I'll probably go for... Since we're not going to be going for a run with a lot of ranged characters, we're only going to have Halfaris. I think that bringing along Disguise, considering how often I forget to use it, is probably a bad idea. I'm going to go for a run with Eviscerate. And then let's search our house. So we've got 2 apples and we've got an armor patch. That's perfectly fine. I think I do like them apples. Let's do our level ups. I'm going to go for Strength. I'm going to go for... Critical might not be a terrible idea either with Eviscerate, but there are certain like baseline attributes I'd like to have in place before we start fiddling with anything else. God, it's gonna be a crit machine by the time we get out of here. Okay, so at level 9, he's got a 50% chance to crit, and that's all just due to RNG. I can't really affect the fact that it gave us a whole bunch of crit when it drew all those stats. He's got 6 strength, which means that his regular attack will do reasonable amounts of damage, and his HP, while a tad low, is still enough to where he's not going to get like one-shotted by anybody, I don't think. Let's go deal with some doggies. And so on our turn, dealing with the doggies, I think I will step over to here. Let's see how Eviscerate does. So we got a critical for 4. I think we can probably max out on that one for around... Well, I gotta take a look at the damage anyways in his stat sheet. We've beaten the wolf from this world. We got a +1 strength rune. Sounds good to me. Sounds absolutely delicious. We shall eat it with dinner. As you walk behind the abandoned building... Okay, so let's get rid of the rats. And so we share HP or XP. And then we can now search the place. In searching the place, we find ourselves a chest. That's actually unfortunate. That's probably one of the worst things that can happen this early in the game. I've had it actually to where I got like 4 or 5 chests right at the beginning and there's no lockpicks to deal with them. It's a very, very unfortunate circumstance to be in. Hero loses 2 HP from touching the monoliths, so sometimes you touch the monolith and win, sometimes you touch the monolith and lose. There's no indicator as to which monolith makes you win and which one makes you lose, it just kind of happens. We swim and explore, the cave extends even deeper underwater and you're soon out of breath, but you get a treasure chest. So we get a couple more runes, but we lose HP. Unfortunately, that means our initial restorative items are already sacrificed to the great beast RNGesus. And so off we go to the left. You know how the number of the beast is 666? The number of RNGesus is 1 to 10. And that's just what it is. We will search this cave. We find ourselves some Boletus Impolitus and some Amanita Phalloides. That's good. That's good. That'll help out. Over here we've got the first inn and we've got some of our alternate locations. I'm going to pick up Valana first. So there it is. We've got Valana. I forget who's good at the card game. Somebody's good at the card game. Oh my god, I completely forgot about the mini games, and now I'm like brain farting all over the place. The room's beginning to stink, and it's just like, oh, I wish I could remember these things sometimes. So let's go. I'm going to upgrade his armor, I guess, since I have nobody else that's really suitable for the upgrade right now. Prudency would tell me, is that even a word, prudency? I'm not even sure that's a word. Anyways, prudence, there we go. Prudence would tell me that I should probably hang tight and not use any of my goodies until I get a little bit further into the game. But honestly, it's a bum run. I'm not expecting to win anyway, so I'm just going to keep this a little bit low to the chest and low key. With the waitress, let's see if we can get ourselves a lockpick. We cannot, and so unfortunately that treasure chest over there is already a bust. It's just not something we're going to be able to do. Just not there. And I don't think the blacksmith's going to have anything for us either. So we'll continue our ventures onwards to the west. It's going to be our, is this our first night? It's our second night. Ooh, that's nasty. Okay, so let's kill some wolves. We've got Valana, and we've got the main character starting out on opposite sides. I'm going to have him go for Eviscerate. There it is. The first strike is a crit. The second strike is a 3. And so the final strike is a miss with a counterattack that's going to come back in. He's got, oh my god, with a crit too? Jesus. Alright, so we're already in really, really bad shape. That's not good. It's a good thing it's a bum run, because frankly, getting a crit that early from such a simple mob for that amount. His big downside when you do his second spec is that he has 0% dodge, so he just gets hit. So I think that probably leads me to the conclusion that I should probably pick up like a tank or something at some point. Or at least somebody that can take things to the head. So we've got tainted meat over here. Probably not going to eat that or use it. I think it's one of those items that just gives you like a 50-50 shot. I've never used it because honestly I'm not a big fan of E. coli or dying while vomit shitting all over the place. I figure if a disease makes you simultaneously exude fluid from both ends, I don't want to die from it. I prefer to keep that isolated to one side of my body versus the other. We can hire another mercenary right here, but it's going to cost us every bit of scratch that we have. Really? Where did our money go? Wait, hold on. What? Oh, do we have 7? No, I don't want the innkeeper. I want the waitress. Waitress. There we go. So let me sell off some of this crap loot that's sitting around here. The skill cooldown might be useful for later, so I'm going to hold on to that for a minute. Mercenaries. We're going to need somebody beefy. Or at least somebody that can like sit around and soak hits or something. He's level 5. Part of me wants to bring Darian just as like a little bit of a backup to make sure the group survives. I think I will do that actually. Yeah, I'm gonna bring Darian. I think they should nerf the cost of the first mercenary too. Like the first mercenary should be 0, the second should be 4, the third and after should be 8. Because 8 is such a large amount of money this early in the game if you haven't gotten any loot drops. Can actually preclude you, and then you can end up with a party with just like 2 people unable to do anything. Hold on, I don't want to do anything right now. Stop going into menus. There we go. Okay, so strength, 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 health, health, health. There we go. So that looks pretty good. I like 9 and 8. 9 and 8 works for me. I'm happy with that. We took the second tier ability, which means that he can protect people, which is precisely what I wanted to go for because his dodge rate is pretty good. I probably should have I probably could have gotten away with putting a couple more points into dodge, but I guess we'll just kind of make it work for right now. Okay, so Valana. She unfortunately is once again dug in because the game, for whatever reason, really likes to put your ranged characters stuck in front of melee characters. Why it does that, I can't tell you, but it sure does enjoy it. So I guess I'll get started right here. I should have used the... I've already messed up. I should have used the ability that shields her. And so now we're going to take damage. And she's not going to get a turn. Whereas if I had used the damage ability, I could have stepped her out. So that was a tactical fail on my part. Yep, go ahead, deal your damage, do what you're gonna do. And then I shall throw a bomba at you as revenge. If he tries to do anything, he should get stabbed in the side of the head, I hope. There we go. And so that at least went according to plan. If this misses down here, it's going to be unfortunate, but it did not. And so that leaves us in a decent spot. She should level up to 2 now, which is nice. That'll be helpful. We got another critical rune. Unfortunately, we're not getting any armor runes right now. There's just so many elements of this game that are 100% left up to RNG. Like, there's really nothing to it other than that. I think I'll probably keep her on strength. I'll probably get rid of the crit rune because we just have too many runes right now that aren't doing anything for us. I'll use that on him. Good. We got almost a maximum roll on that, so at least that's good. Let's see. The walls of the cave are covered in a slimy substance and some massive shapes are moving through. We can have Valana harvest. I'm going to do that. And so Valana can't wait to experiment on the plants that made the snails transform, and she starts brewing some of the plants. She hands you the concoction. A powerful strength flows through your veins, and you get 70 XP. Nothing can stop you now.
Don't stop me now, 'cause I'm having a good time, having a good time.
Okay, that's enough of that for right now. We've got... I'm going to hold on to these because I do like what I've got right there. I should probably purchase an armor room, but considering how little cash we're sitting on at the moment, I'm going to wait and see how the remainder of the zone plays out before we go much further. Okay, so a health potion, that's good. We got an extra upgrade as well. Hopefully we'll get some good loot rolls on this map. That's all that I can hope for right now. Okay, so we got a consumable and another armor patch. We got wolves down here, and I think that they are going to be manageable. Wolves have a long-standing history of being sort of difficult to keep in line when you put them in a business situation, but I think that if you keep the wolves, if you keep them properly greased up and motivated, I'm pretty sure that you can manage them at least a little bit. It's all about proving that you are to alpha, though. That's the big part, is you got to prove that you are to alpha. Guess I'll throw a bomb over there and we'll hope it takes it out. Yeah, very nice. So Valana managed to seal the deal on that combat for us, and then it throws off a whole bunch of XP in one direction. I'm wondering if it waits to apply the 70 XP, because it doesn't. I don't think it applied the 70 XP right there, did it? Unless she dinged up again to level 3. Okay, so we got an armor rune right there. That'll be nice. Okay, so things turning around a little bit. We had a rough first zone, but the second zone is looking like it might actually be fruitful. Looks like we may be able to walk out of here with some pears, some pomegranates, anything else that might be useful. Okay, Amanita phalloides is something that I'd take. I always fight the Wolf Lord because he gives you a bunch of cash, and so he basically ensures that you're going to get your 4th mercenary. For right now, though, let me have a look at my party and make sure of where everybody's at. Everybody is at a decent spot at the moment, and so I think that what I'm going to go for right now... Yeah, let's just go ahead. We'll handle him. We'll get our 4 gold. I think you get money for... Alright, it did it to us again. It did it to us again. Unfortunate. Alright, so I'm going to park him right here. I'm going to pull her out. And we'll just get going with some DPS over here. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get rid of him. Bad rolls all around. Bad rolls all around, and so we're living with a situation right now where unfortunately he's going to get to spawn a wolf. It's going to be back in that corner, but it's not really going to be very helpful. I'm going to get rid of that mob, and I'm going to get rid of that mob. This would be one of those times where the pushback would be great. Unfortunately, we don't have it, so I'm just going to be forced to DPS how I can, where I can. It doesn't look like there's anything else spawning over here. Let's... Stealth potion might be a bit of a waste right now. I'm going to let her take the hit. Maybe she'll dodge it. There we go. So that's what I was hoping for. RNG does play to your favor in this game. It plays to both sides. It's just one of those things where it's almost consistent enough to where I do things like that pretty constantly because I just assume that RNG may sort it out for me. And indeed it does. So there's our first wolf victory. We didn't really take any damage from right there, which is good. That's definitely satisfactory. And so we'll score ourselves, I think, 4 or 5 gold. Oh, really? It gave us runes. I've never seen that happen with the Wolf Lord before. I thought he had a constant... loot table. That's unfortunate for me. Our pockets are looking a little bit swole at the moment. And while normally I'd be excited about that fact, I do think that we need to find an inn and vendor off some of this fodder before we go do anything else. We definitely don't have... Oh, there's a shop here. Okay, so that's going to work. It's actually a food merchant. Alright. We only have 2 gold, but... I'm going to get rid of some of these excess, just random items. Can I stack these? No, they can't be stacked. God, my cat just scared me. There was like this big boom in the background. And I looked at my cat, it just launched herself into the wall so that she could land on the windowsill. She sits on the windowsill like all day, almost obsessively. It's very, very strange. I think she wants to escape because sometimes she makes a dash for the door when I open it. Pretty sure my cat wants to abandon me. I'll save the armor pads until we get to somewhere else, I think, because I am trying to make this as lucrative of a run as possible. Yeah. Let's use the Behest Impolitus on him. He only got one out of it, unfortunately, so hopefully the spawn right here doesn't take us out. That's what I'm worried about, is if it spawns our range once again, like right in front of somebody. It's always a nasty situation to be in. I'll go for the one shot right there. And then my next goal would be to land right there. We'll start off by dealing as much damage as we can right there. So the second attack's going to be dodged. That's okay. We'll go for a triple attack right there because I don't think he's going to be able to walk away from it. And so since he got an extra AP, we should be able to lock down this archer pretty handily, or pretty footily. I don't really care what body parts you use to lock somebody down, just as long as they end up quite fondled. Oh look, there's another one right there. Okay, so that's fine. At least he attacked somebody that's like a suitable target. I just don't like it when they attack my ranged people. When my ranged people get attacked, I get very, very frustrated. I get like a red color in my eyes. It's definitely not something that I enjoy. Alright, so we'll deal some damage right there. That leaves Darian in a good spot to one-shot him, actually. Not bad. Not bad. Maybe I should have gone with Darian first, but he hit him so hard that it's just like, well, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Oh, really? We got... Okay, so we got a tier 2 rune. That's gonna be one of the rarer ones that breaks 2 armor points instead of 1. Not my favorite tier 2 rune, but also not my least favorite either. There's nothing over there, so we'll go search that in a minute. My big worry right now is that we're gonna end up with too much loot. And then once we have too much loot, we're not gonna be able to carry some of it out of these central locations. Alright, the Three Rats Tavern. Let's go ahead and talk to the waitress. I don't even know if I want to keep that rune. Part of me is wanting to... I know that I always say that like I'm of two minds, but... God, there's so much food on this map. Like, we could really, really, really get away with just a really good run if we could get our hands on some of these runes. Or, I'm sorry, if we get our hands on some of these potions. Unfortunately, with where we're at, it may not be completely viable or manageable. I guess we'll upgrade the armor slightly. I'm going to throw an armor rune on him. Throw an armor rune on him since they're both going to be on the front lines. That'll buy us a little bit of added protection when we go into combat. We have to sell off something in order to get our next mercenary because we simply just haven't made the cash. I suppose we could do a run around. I'm not really worried about the time passing too quickly as it stands right now. Darian is able to search here. Okay, so he broke an object that he saw off on the side. I'm not interested in fighting another combat just this second. Day has passed, enemies have gotten nastier. However, we have gotten some loot and healing items, so that's a plus. That'll be nice for the future. For the future. Over here. Search up these towers and get ourselves some tools and things. And on this side, Valana gets hit by a booby trap. Unfortunate and also rigged with RNG. But what can you do about it? Not only did it hit the worst person in our party, but it hit the worst person with the lowest HP as well. So that's fun. That's enjoyable. And yet I still can't justify really using like a big healing item on her, like a plus 10, because it's just too much. However, I feel like if I ignore her plight at the moment, I may end up in a situation where... Well, I feel like I may end up in a situation where she dies, and then I gotta spend even more money to get her back and patched up. So there it is. We're back up to 12 gold now. Breaks 2 armor points instead of 1. Since we're doing a progression run, I'm not sorry, we're not doing a progression run. I don't actually think that's going to be that useful for now. We're not going to fight too many nasty enemies until we get far enough in, and since this is going to be a bum run anyways, just don't care. Don't care at all. What we got going on this side? We got weapon runes handling their business. Got a lot of strength laying around. I'll probably get rid of one of those too, and I do have a plan here, in case you were wondering. So my plan is to hire another mercenary. In this case, I think I'll go with... Yikes. I kind of want to take Halfaris, but let's go with Melik, I suppose. Alright, so we got Melik, and then my next plan, as you may have surmised at this point, was to grab as many of these healing items as I can so that we can extend out the longevity of this run as far as possible. Okay, so we gotta level him. So he's got crit and he's got dodge. I guess we'll go for dodge. He's not really leveled that much, so unfortunately we're not going to be able to make much use of him. However, he does have a really good second tier ability from what the people have told me in the comments. So we'll try to keep an eye out for that. I'm going to jump around. Oh my god, they're everywhere. So that was a mistake. Okay. I'm going to drop that right there. I really need Darian to lock down the archer so that it doesn't get a double shot. I can't be having like any Starbucks action going on right now. And then on this side, there's not really a whole lot I could do either, unfortunately. My hope was that there would be some form of... I moved too far. I moved too far and I got too aggressive. I can't use triple strike because I'll eat... Well, we got armor. Let's go for it. Maybe he'll miss. I have 0 dodge. Of course he's not going to miss. There we go. So at least that finishes off one mob. And it allows us to start the armor on the second, although I should have done his stabby attack. It was a mistake on my part, but we can make it work. He's going to go after Melik and push him back, unfortunately, which is going to put our main character in a very, very salty situation. Quite salty and stingy, if I had to say so myself. However... we should be able to wrap this. Oh, there's another archer. Oh, wow. Okay. But we should be able to wrap this up on the next turn, I think. If I move her to here, we'll use her to blow off some of that armor. I move him. No. Oh, that worked? Okay, sure. I wanted to move Melik, but I guess it grabbed him, and I thought that I clicked Melik. I don't know. I can tell you for sure that I clicked on Melik. I'm not sure why it didn't stick or whatever. Oh, I just did something dumb. I wanted to move him to right there and stab that way. Ooh, I done something real dumb just now. Okay, so this may not get sorted out on this turn. I mean, on the plus side, I can kind of like guarantee that the worst doesn't happen here. But if he misses, we're in all kinds of deep doo-doo, so... probably move over to here just to make sure that archer doesn't try any shenanigans. Force him into that double attack of opportunity situation. That DAOP. Don't miss, please. There we go. Alright, so we brought it on home. A nasty little combat that actually took its toll on our health pretty badly. The toll bridge was long and the toll bridge was harsh. I think what I'm going to do for right now is we'll take that. Let's search this last house. We've got tableware, which is actually fairly solid for us because I can sell that off. And my intent in doing that is so that we can then go and use the innkeeper, because I'm noticing that everybody's got missing health and we've got so many people with missing health. It's usually a pretty good plan to use the innkeeper instead of anything else. We can get rid of that. Get rid of that. We've got apples, so this is probably going to give us about 8 HP actually, which would be very, very nice. And so there it is. I'm going to break off the episode right here. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerdcast for the next episode of Crowntakers on our Bum Run Part 1. I look forward to seeing you all in the next episode. Take care out, everybody, and as always, hi-do.